not even knowing how hard, but like knowing how challenging it was and knowing like the things they're doing behind the scenes, it is so inspiring, and it just makes me respect the person even more, which, I mean, she don't necessarily need my respect, but for me it's just like more inspiration. And so yeah, I've honestly been keeping an eye on Keke for a minute now. I wonder why it looks like that. I've been keeping my eye on Keke Palmer for a minute now, and I feel like if you're not paying attention to how she's moving, then you might want to start paying attention to how she's moving, because there is she's just doing it. She's doing it. So it reminded me of this conversation that I was having a couple of days ago on live, and I was talking about Chloe Bailey. And I was saying how people were saying that Chloe Bailey basically ruined her career because she had a baby. They're saying that about her, and the conversation really like kicked off because of Sky Jackson. And then I remember Keke Palmer's name got thrown in the mix too. And I was like, what are y'all like? What are we proving here? Like, what are we proving? And I just thought that it was a very interesting take to have. Like, you ruined your career. You put a cap on what you can do. If Beyonce is a blueprint, why didn't you follow it? So I just been feeling like it's still I'm still on that. Like, I'm still on that tangent a little bit. But I want to talk about Keke today, and I want to talk about what I've been realizing about her career, and talk about some of the moves that she's been making that I feel like most people don't know about her, and myself included until I did some research. But yeah, it's been interesting, like, to pay attention to how she's doing this, how she's maneuvering, how she's moving, especially for someone who's been in the industry since she was like 12 years old, 10, 12 years old, and she's 31 now. So she's been doing this for 21 years. So she's got some skin in the game. Yeah, because I don't know nothing. Yeah, I'm about to get into it. So y'all, if you saw my video, you know that I am like really not in the mood today. It's been a long day. I It's been a long day, and there's like some things in particular that have just been annoying me. So I was like, let me get on here and talk about this now, because I know that like later on I wouldn't be able to do it, and I just wanted to make sure I didn't miss a day. So the late night session, just I ain't have it in me. I ain't have it in me, y'all. But we're gonna talk about it. Also, we are at 677 still. I didn't even write the sticky note, because I was like, we're at the same number. I feel like, if I'm honest with y'all, the whole using YouTube shorts to help with your subscriber growth, I feel like that strategy still rings true for small accounts. So if that's something that you've been thinking about and you want to know what it looks like to gain subscribers, I've been seeing the most success with shorts, um and talking about trending topics, and then going live. So just so y'all know, if you're thinking about experimenting and giving yourself your own challenge, that's what's been working. No, I appreciate the offer, but I don't need an intro. I don't need an intro. So, all right, y'all. So let's talk about Keke. So she has her book coming out, and I think it's called Master of Me. I don't remember the subtitle, but I do know it is called Master of Me. And that's why, like, this round of like the Keke media takeover is in effect, is because she's on her tour promoting her book. And so I haven't read the book. I don't know if I will read the book unless it's more of a memoir. I'm not in a place where I necessarily want to listen to educational stuff. Like I don't want to read any educational books or it's like self-help books, which I said yesterday. I don't have that capacity. I want to just read stuff that's just interesting stories that can entertain me and also give me a new perspective. Like I can learn things, but I want to learn it in stories. Like I don't want to learn it in a step by step process. So I'm a check it out, but if it looks like it's gonna be like more self-help, then I'm good. I'm good. One thing that I do enjoy about when actors write books, I love when actors just tell us their story. Like, I love it. Like, you don't have to give me, like, a lesson at the end of it. You don't have to tell me what the takeaways are, or you don't have to give me no action steps or nothing. I just wanna be able to read about your life. Like, that to me is interesting enough for me to be able to, for it to keep my attention. And so, I'm hoping that that's the kind of book that it is because I am definitely intrigued just by her life in general. And so I uh I really want to know if anybody's listened to her interview on Club Shay Shay yet. Cause if you do, then you can give a little bit more insight into the things that she talked about. But one thing that I thought was interesting, because I saw a few clips from it, is when she was talking about her upbringing. So she's been working since she was like 10 years old, 12 years old. I really want to say it's 10 years old. That's when she started her career. And so she's been working ever since. And she, as the actress in the family, ended up being the one who like brought in all the money for her family. Like her dad, she's like her dad put up his pension or forfeited his pension, whatever, however it works. He put in his pension. Her mom didn't work because she was like managing her. She it was because of her career she was able to put her sister through school, and the financial burden of the family was all on her since she was like 10 years old. And so listening to her talk about it, I was like, I immediately felt bad. Like that's it seems like that's so much pressure to put on a child. And I felt like I felt two things. So the first thing I felt is like that's a lot of pressure to put on a child. Like that's a lot. And then the other thing that I thought as well is it's kind of cool that her family believed in her that much that they sacrificed what they did. Yeah, it is a lot of pressure. It is a lot of pressure. And when she was talking about it, she started tearing up, which to me lets me know that there's something there, right? Like it's something there. And I know when I talk about my family, especially when I talk about my parents, there is a like sense of protection that I have that won't won't allow me to like go in on them. Like if I'm talking about something that's going on in my life, or I'm talking about something that's going on with my family, I'm there's going to always be this like barrier to what I'm gonna say and what I'm gonna allow people to say in my presence about my people. Like I'm just like protective in that way. And I don't know if it's because of my, being the oldest sibling. I don't know. I'm not sure where like that protectiveness comes from, but like that's me. Right. So when she was talking about it, I felt like there was still like this sense of protection that she has for her family. Like, yeah, I know it was a lot of pressure, but this is my family and they sacrificed a lot. So it's the least that I could do. Right. And so I was like, I get it, but also it just still feels so um I hope that she has had the space or creates the space to heal from that because as honored as she feels about it, I just have a hard time believing that there isn't some sense of like resentment or just exhaustion from being that person for everybody. Like it's just it feels like a lot. And so she was describing it and talking about it. And so she said that it was an honor because everybody what everybody sacrificed in order for her to do this. She was like, I'm the one whose career was really supported by everybody in the family. So thank you. So I get her perspective on it. And I think that it is definitely an interesting way of looking at it. And one thing that I will say though is that I can tell by the way that she's been able to sustain her career and not fall into that trope of being a child actor. Like she really like she's kept it above board her entire career. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not like the most drama that we've ever had about her was when the stuff with her ex-boyfriend. Like that's really it. Like outside of that, there wasn't really anything to report on her. There wasn't anything that was talked about with her. Like there wasn't no drug problems, there wasn't no alcohol problem. Like it wasn't anything that we really could say about her. And so I feel like that says a lot about the type of environment that she had and feeling like she was supported even though the weight of the finances fell on her. So I can say that it makes me think, okay, I can trust that you feel that you're being genuine about feeling like it's an honor. Like I think I can take that. The thing that I'm saying basically is like I would also understand if the feelings that you have are more nuanced than that. Like you can like two things can be true at once, basically. So that was one thing about the interview that I was like, "Oh, that is definitely very interesting to me." And then to hear her talk about it that way. And I could not imagine I could not imagine the type of person that I would be if I felt like all of the weight of my family's finances, of my family's success, um, or not even success, but like the weight of being able to give opportunities fell on me. I just couldn't imagine that being the thing for an entire family, like including my parents. Like I'd be feeling like being a mom, that's enough. Even like being an older sister, I was like, I'm good with this. I don't want any more. I don't need anything extra. So I definitely was intrigued by that. And so she also this little snippet that I got here is on you can't see it on YouTube, unfortunately, but I got it up on TikTok and it's just a snippet from the interview that she had on Club Shay Shay. And she was talking about how Ice Cube warned her about the men in the industry. And he warned her about them when she was 14. And at the time, she said that it didn't really mean much to her, but it was just like, him offering his wisdom to her early. But she said that because of that, as she got older, she didn't date men in the entertainment industry, which I definitely feel like has helped her tremendously because it seems like anytime celebrities date other celebrities, and there's no such thing as personal business. It seems like everybody's really involved in your life unless you're somebody like Morris Chestnut. The fact that Morris Chestnut is married and has been married for like I think decades blows my mind. I did not know that Morris Chestnut was married until like I mean not literally yesterday, but like yesterday. And so the like seeing people like that who are able to maintain their relationships outside of the public eye and still have successful careers and have a healthy family. At least that's what it looks like to me. I don't know no different. I think that that's dope to me. And so just the fact that she didn't date men in the industry until recently with her child's father, and look at how that turned out. Yikes. Like, yikes. So I don't know if that means that she's never gonna date another entertainer, but if she didn't, I would understand. I would understand. So there's a lot of things that I feel like she's doing that people don't really give her props for. But one thing that I'll say, one thing I want to go through is I want to go through all the things that I am aware of that she does. And y'all let me know if there any of these are a surprise to you. So we know that she's an actress. We know that one off rip. She also has released multiple albums and EPs, which I did not know. I knew she liked to sing, but I did not know she had released multiple albums. She also has a production company and a network called Key TV. She has been an interview host outside of what show was she on with Michael Strahan, and I can't remember what that show was called, but outside of that, she had her own interview show before that. And apparently, according to Kev on Stage, because he was a guest on her show, like back when she was doing that, he said that she is a great interviewer. Like, he was like, she is an amazing interviewer. He's like, she asks really good questions. She is very relatable and just down to earth, and the way that she portrays herself is just how she is, which is not something that you always hear when it comes to celebrities. And so he was like, he really enjoyed that interview with her. So the fact that she's now doing, hosting more often, and like is the host of a game show and all of that stuff, that it doesn't surprise me at all. Just because her track record has shown that this is something that she does well. She has a knack for it. So she has the production company, which is what the music is through. And it's they're in partnership with Universal. She also has Key TV, which has like original content. There's a TV show that I just saw a clip of not too long ago that I definitely have to make sure I check out. And I found out that she had Key TV randomly on LinkedIn one day, because I was like just scrolling on LinkedIn, and I saw somebody post about Keke Palmer. And so I was like, "Oh, who's in my network that knows Keke Palmer?" And so she was talking about how they had just had this successful launch with Key TV. And I was like, "She has a whole like studio?" I had no idea. And this was last year. I don't remember what the project was that she was working on, but literally like a whole network and a production studio. So she has that going. She's also written two or three books. So she's an author of multiple books, which I had not heard of the other books until I started doing some digging. And I was like, oh, she's got multiple books. And then she also is now I got to look it up so I don't mess it up, but she's now in the C-suite of a hair company. Let me look up. It's a beauty company. I think that she's a CMO. Um, no, CBO. Let me see. Yeah, she's a CBO of Cream of Nature. And y'all, if you well, maybe you don't remember. I'm over here like assuming that everybody knows it's about her, but just recently got placed as the CBO, the Chief Brand Officer of Cream of Nature. So she's going to be in charge of their branding. So yeah, she's doing I wasn't even keeping track of how many things it is. So we got acting, we got I count the interviews, the TV hosting as I guess it can kind of be lumped in, but I want to separate it just because it's not movies or TV necessarily. It's not scripted. She's also a CBO. She also has a production company. She also has a studio or a network. I mean, production company. She has a network. She also is an author. And I think that there's something that I'm missing. I know you're like, what else? What don't she do? Well, that at least like that's six things right there. So she's doing all of this stuff, and I'm sitting here like, wow, like how is it? First of all, how is it that she's doing so much and so much of it has like flown under the radar? Like how does so much of it just fly under the radar? And the thing is that she's been she reached millionaire status when she was about when she was a teenager. I think that she said in the interview that when she was 14, she had already become a millionaire. So it's like she's not new to money at all. And the it's what's so dope about it to me is that the work ethic didn't change even though the money came in. Like she still finds new ways to um just to create and to innovate and to offer opportunities for other people. And so oh, actually, they're gonna start being able to gift. They have something. They're gonna be jewels. So if you're on YouTube and you're streaming, you'll be able to gift people on YouTube. I don't know when they're gonna roll it out, but when it does come out, it's gonna be called jewels. Happy Sunday, Kayla. So yeah, that's something that they must have heard your complaint because they're definitely gonna start doing that. Uh, it's gonna be interesting for TikTok. It's gonna definitely be interesting for TikTok. I mean, a lot of things are interesting for TikTok, but I won't go on that tangent today. So I feel like I've just become more and more impressed by her. And I gotta have like a moment of honesty, y'all. I gotta have a moment of honesty. Yeah, I'm trying to get bejeweled. I had a moment of honesty. So up until maybe 2 years ago, I was not team Keke. I was not team Keke. And it wasn't even for a real reason. I felt like I liked her in particular roles, but she just wasn't my cup of tea. She just wasn't my cup of tea, like personality wise. And I felt like she was very like over the top, and it felt like somebody that was trying too hard, and it was a turn off to me. And so I think that that was part of the reason why I didn't pay attention to what she was doing up until recently, because I was like, I'm good. I'm good. Like I would rather look at some other people. And so I feel like I'm not sure what changed, honestly. It might be the fact that she is a mom now. I don't know. Like I start liking people better when they have kids. Not saying I don't like you if you don't have kids, but I don't know. It's just something that happens, and maybe it's like the way that you change and grow as a parent that makes it like that just makes it more appealing. Hey Nessa. And so I wasn't feeling it at first. Like I just wasn't feeling her personality at first. And so I got to like get that off my chest because I'm really riding hard now, and like I feel like I'm like caping for her a little bit. But I got to be honest about like the journey that it took to get here, because it wasn't like I was not I was not a fan. You felt the same way too, Ava? Okay. Whew. All right. I was like, man, I can't just talk about her like I just always been like following her. And I think that honestly, that's a big reason why people weren't paying attention to what she was doing. And I mean, like, it's not that she was still making her money and she was still doing her thing. So I guess my intention didn't really make a difference on her success and make an impact on her success. But I feel like, especially over the past few years, she has become so much more likable and so much more endearing, and it's not so over the top. And yeah, and I think that I feel like part of that is because of her being a mom. Like, I do feel like she has matured and developed more, and I feel like the position that she had, because she this is what she's been doing at such a young age, that just because she had the responsibility doesn't mean that the maturity was at that level, because she was still young. She was still a kid. She was still a teenager. She's still a young woman. And so just because she is doing these things in one space doesn't mean that, like, mentally and emotionally she's there yet. And that's okay. I saw her differently after her interview with Shannon, knowing her story. Yeah, yeah. And so, okay, y'all. I'm glad that we can connect on that now. I honestly feel that knowing her story and understanding what she does and understanding how she is using her privilege to help others. Like, those are the types of things that make me like her more. And I honestly feel like, just like in general, it just feels like her personality is a little bit more tempered. So motherhood definitely grows on, yeah, it grows you for sure, for sure. For sure, for sure. And I mean, when you allow it to, it can make it even better. But I feel like sometimes people be fighting it, and that's a conversation for another day. But just in general, I feel like her personality has calmed down. And honestly, this is a theory that I have, because the fact that I wasn't the only person that felt like she was trying too hard, it means that I was just picking up. We were all picking up on the same things. And so here's my theory about it. I feel like I feel like she doesn't feel like she has to prove herself anymore. Like, it doesn't feel like she's overcompensating or trying to make herself appear like she deserves to be in the room, or like she deserves to be in this space. Like, her work speaks for itself. The people who have encountered her and had experiences with her that were positive and uplifting speaks for itself. And it's just like this grown woman energy that is like, I don't have to overcompensate and do a whole bunch to prove anything to you. All I have to do is be myself and show up and tell my story, and my confidence will do the talking. Yes, the confidence is and you know what? I wouldn't even say that it's silent. I think that it speaks for itself, but it is not boisterous. Like, it's not loud. Hey, Sabrina. Like, the confidence is it's a calm confidence. Like, that's how I would say it, cuz it speaks volumes. Like, it really does. And I think that even when she talks about her accomplishments, when she talks about what she's doing and what she's been able to help people to do, there is still this sense of, I don't even want to call it humility, because honestly, I feel like she's really, like, popping her ish right now. And I love that for her. We need to see more of that from women. But it is like, I don't have to, yeah, like, I don't have to throw it in your face. Like, I'm just gonna tell you what I'm doing. I'm gonna tell you my story. Like, the facts are the facts. I was a millionaire at 14. I've tried all these different business ventures. This is what I've been able to do. This is how I felt in the industry. This is why I navigated dating the way that I did. And it is like, I love it. I love it. Like, I am really enjoying it, even down to her talking about her skincare routine. Because one of the things that I always appreciated about her, is that I felt like I could see myself in her, especially when it came to her challenges with her skin. And one of the things that I guess kind of irritated me is that I felt like she was trying to act like she didn't struggle with it. And you know how we do. If anybody has ever struggled with acne, like y'all just like let me know if you get where I'm going with this. But when you are struggling with acne, especially as an adult, like I'm not talking about teenage acne. I'm talking about I'm in my 20s and my acne is still popping. Like what's happening? Like what's wrong with me? This feels childish. And the tendency that we have is to try to like hide it and act like it's not there. And we have all the different makeup routines and all of the different things that we do to try to mask it because it's not attractive to have all these breakouts, and it makes you look like you're unhealthy or you don't take care of yourself. Like that's how I felt. That's how I felt like I looked. Like I felt like I looked like I was somebody that didn't take care of themselves well. I just felt like it looked poor. I don't even know how else to say it, y'all. Like I felt like it looked poor. And so I always hated the fact that I was struggling with acne for so long in my life up until adulthood. And I would always be so jealous of the women who like didn't have those problems. Yes. Sabrina, I felt like it made me look poor. Like, okay, and here's like I'm trying to explain this without going on too far of a tangent, but the my association with it is that I feel like when I think about wealth, I think about people who do a good job of taking care of themselves, right? Like people who spend the time to like take care of their inner health, their outer health, like their outer appearance. And I'm not even talking about to the extremes of being overly made up or having your body done, but just in general, like I feel like there is a certain like wealth that is associated with a certain aesthetic that you have, like the way that you present yourself or take care of yourself. And so when I would look at the acne, I would feel like it just looked like I didn't take care of myself. I don't even know how else to say it, y'all. And I'm hoping that I'm not making anyone that's struggling with it feel bad. What I do hope I'm doing is like giving you a space to know that the insecurities that you feel, you're not the only one. Like, you're not the only one. And if you don't want to say that's how you feel or see yourself, that's okay because I'm gonna say it. And like that's just how I felt about it. And so, and even just like in the sense of I feel like the people who, and this is what I liked about Keke and didn't like at the same time because she wasn't talking about it. But what I also felt like is if I had more money, then I would have access to the types of treatments that would help clear my acne. And so I felt like the fact that I was still struggling with it, it showed or it proved that I didn't have the type of means necessary to afford the stuff that would help clear my skin. And I felt like the people who were wealthier did. And so what I appreciated about Keke is that I knew she was rich and was still struggling with acne. So like that made me feel it felt less stigmatized because it was like it's not a money thing. This is a human thing. Like it's a human thing. Like we're all trying to figure it out. But what I didn't like is that I felt like it was an opportunity to um to talk about it and to have the conversation, and for a while she wasn't. And so I would find comfort in knowing that I wasn't the only person that struggled with it regardless of my financial status, but it would have felt more comforting and more relatable to hear her talk about it as well. And so now she has been much more vocal about her skincare routine, and she has been sharing like with the progress with her acne clearing up, and then like fixing the scars and maintaining it, and then also getting older, and how the things that your skin needs is changing. Like I'm loving all of it because now it is so much more relatable, and it just makes me feel seen. And so all of that just makes me like her more. And one thing that I have always felt though is that she always had that side to her that wasn't completely that wasn't completely Hollywood. And I feel like that's part of the reason why she has like even at the status that she still is not like the first actress that you would think of, right? Like she's still not the mega actress. I don't even know what you would call it for actors, but it's not the same superstar that you would think of when you think about some other people, right? Like she's not the first name that pops in your head. But the fact that I felt like she wasn't leaning into that, like that ability that she had, that capability that she had, it was like creating like a distance. And one thing that I do wonder is, this is the question that I would ask her. I would want to know if she ever felt inadequate in Hollywood. And because like that's what I feel like I was picking up on. And that's where like the feeling of her trying too hard was coming from. And I would want to know, like, did you ever feel like you were as talented as some of the people who were getting more notoriety than you? Or did you ever feel like you were overlooked even though you had been doing this since you were 12 years old? Did you ever feel like that? Because I felt like that for her. I felt like, why is it that it feels like she's just not being put in the same spaces and at the same levels as some of these other people? And like I think about, even though like some of these people, they have definitely had their downs. But I think about somebody like Lindsay Lohan. Like they were working not roughly at the same time. I know Lindsay Lohan is older than her by like 7 years. But just like seeing how some child stars, they they were even put at a higher level, even though they have a similar story in terms of like their work history. And I know that part of that is like race. I always felt like there was an aspect to it that had to do with her being dark skinned. you know if you don't agree with that, then that's your take on it. But I've always felt like there was a part to it that had to do with her being dark skinned. And I know just from hearing the stories of Black women in Hollywood that it is already hard enough to get work. Like it's hard enough to keep consistent roles, to get good roles, to get the roles that don't typecast you and like put you in a box. Everyone's fighting for the same coveted spots. So I know that it's very competitive, and it's only like a select few who really get those great roles. And so I would just want to know, like, if she ever felt like that. And I wonder if she would answer it, or if she has answered it before. Because that's what I would want to know. And I think that even though that is not the route that her career took, I believe that it was for the best that it didn't, which leads me right back to what I was saying in the beginning and what I was saying the other day about about Halle Bailey, about the people who do end up taking different routes than the superstars. They end up taking different routes than the people who we're used to seeing just like, put their heads down and then just go in one direction. Like I love the people who are able to adapt and who are able to lean into other aspects of themselves that don't pigeonhole them and keep them bound in one space, especially when you're starting to realize that this is not going to take me where I want to go. So I need to move around. And so the fact that she has leaned so much into being an entrepreneur. Hey, Felicia, thank you for liking. The fact that she's leaned so heavy into being an entrepreneur and like using her platform, using her resources, using her privilege to bring up other Black artists, Black creatives, Black actors. She's using what she has to tell her story and to encourage women. She's sharing her story about her skin journey and what products you can use, and really making it that like I don't have to keep going up without bringing other people with me. Like this air of like being communal and being a person that wants to bring people up and not just focusing on, okay, I want to go faster and not building together. So I love it, and I think that it was all intentional. It was all, it was all designed by God to work out that way. So, yeah, I'm talking about Keke Palmer. Keke Palmer. So, I think that I basically what I'm saying is that the fact that she is not the first person that you think of when you think about the top actresses in Hollywood, or the best actress, is not a knock to her skill by any means, but I think that it forced her to not just lean on that. And I think it forced her to think, how can I do this and be my quirky self? How can I do this and be my silly, goofy self? Like, what does it look like to not follow what the traditional route of an actor looks like, and to operate more like an entrepreneur and bring other people up with me as well? So yeah, I'm loving it. I'm loving it, and I'm really enjoying just getting to know Keke with and just knowing Keke. Like I love it. I really do love it. So one thing, y'all, so one thing that I saw, because I feel like my timeline has just been like the Keke show. But I saw she did this interview where she was on a podcast, and they were asking her what are some of the things that what are some of the quotes that people say to you when they see you? Like, what are some of the quotes they know you for? And so the first one that she said, which the first one that came to my mind, was sorry to that man. Like, sorry to that man. I just don't see that ever not being a thing. Like, I feel like that's like cemented in our culture to say sorry to that man. I don't remember how old that is, but I still love saying sorry to that man. But the other one that I had forgot about, well, it was the one when she was I forgot who she was interviewing. And she was like, I know it ain't. Oh, she was talking about Megan the Stallion. I know it ain't the stallion. You know it's your girl. I forgot all about that. And the thing, I think the part that makes it so funny is that she was not trying to be funny. She was not trying to be funny. Like, she was just legitimately just being herself. And we have taken these things and turned them into quotes. Because we're so unserious. We're so unserious. No, like, she's just genuinely saying this stuff. And so I forgot all about that, but I feel like that needs to make a comeback, because that had me crying. Crying. Okay. So yeah, I've just, like I said, I've just been enjoying it. I gotta definitely check out one of her shows through Key TV. That's KEY TV. And if the book is a memoir and not a self-help book, then I will consider like checking that out too. But if anything, I'm definitely going to listen to the full interview on Club Shay Shay, because my interest has been piqued. And if y'all watch it too, let me know. I might do a recap of it on TikTok. And maybe on YouTube too. I might do like a shorts on it. But yeah, I've been feeling it, and so I wanted to give her her flowers. I wanted to shout her out and talk about her. But the last thing that I want to touch on that I have been peeping about her is I feel like her brand personality, one of her brand personalities, is the sovereign. I think that one of her brand personalities is the sovereign. And so if y'all are not familiar with brand personalities, they are the personalities that encompass like the different aspects of humanity. Like these are characters that you've seen throughout time and in everyday people and media and um just like culture in general, their different personalities. And the cool thing about knowing your brand personality is that it helps you to know how to position yourself in front of the right people. It helps you know what colors to use to represent your brand, what language to use, what phrases to use. And so I did a whole series on the different brand personalities. And if you're interested in that, listening to this, then make sure you go back and check them out on my YouTube channel. Okay. But the sovereign is basically like the another name for it is the ruler. And so one of the things about the ruler that I feel she embodies is this sense of um like stability and sticking to tradition. Like that's the best way I can put it. Let me bring up the documents. I can say it exactly the right way. But this commitment to tradition. And so on the surface, it doesn't look like she is this like person who's like by the book and very like classic and sticks to tradition. But even when I look at the way that she has navigated her career, she doesn't lean into any real heavy extreme. And even the way that she was brought up in the industry, she is a person like she's one of those actors that is committed to the craft. Like she's an actor. Like she is able to really like hone in on the craft, and she's a person that really cares about embodying these different characters, pushing herself outside of her comfort zone. Even the fact that her first movie was Aquila and the Bee, there's like this sense of responsibility that the character embodied that made me feel like she was Aquila. Like I feel like Aquila was her personality in real life. Like I never I was having a hard time distinguishing the two. I was like, I just feel like Keke is Aquila. And it doesn't help that her name is Aquila in the movie and her name is Keke. It all made sense to me. But the reason why part of the reason why is because of me learning about all of the things that she has been doing in order to uplift others. And one of the things that I pointed out about the sovereign is the commitment not only to like leading with integrity, but also having a not just a heart for the people, but an ability to put people in their proper place, right? And I'm not talking about reading them their rights or like putting nobody down, but having a way of delegating and giving people different roles and positions that allows them to shine. And so there's this deep dive that I've been going into that I will share another day. But the topic that I've been really interested in lately is this whole concept of modern royalty and what does it look like to be royalty in current times, and what does royalty look like in different cultures, because we're used to seeing royalty from a very European perspective, but royalty is reflected in every culture. It's reflected in every time frame. And so what does it look what are the commonalities of royalty, and what are the differences? So when I do some more research on that, I'm going to report back on what modern royalty looks like, because that's I'm like I'm really like I'm deep in it, y'all. Okay, I'm deep in it. So I feel like Keke Palmer embodies modern royalty in entertainment. And so okay, so here are some of the strengths: their leadership and authority, stability, which definitely she's definitely demonstrated being the one that was the financial what's the word? She was the one that was bringing in the money for her family. I don't feel like being fancy with it. Confidence and charisma, which she definitely embodies, and then the vision and guidance. So those are the strengths of the sovereign brand personality. And so I felt like it was particularly interesting because there's also been a specific direction that her style is going in. Have y'all been picking up on that? Have y'all been paying attention? Her style has been leaning more into a like classic um it's like it has aspects of like glamour, like old Hollywood glamour, but it also is like silhouettes and styles that are modern, but they also remind you of the past. And I was watching someone go through the different styling of the different outfits that she's been wearing on this tour for her book. And I even remember some people were giving her a hard time about the way that she was styling herself for the television, the TV, the game show that she was hosting. And they were saying that she was dressed like an old lady. Like they were saying, like, why are you dressing like that? Like you're too young to be dressing like that. And so I was like, wow, okay. I can see that she's, first of all, she has doubled down on it. So if you feel like she dressed like an old lady on that game show, then you really feel like it's old lady now. But I get the vision now because I can see more of her brand personality in it. And so like the half up ponytail, and then the half back, like that's like the style. But then the fact that it's like these big body waves, like that's the part that feels like classic and like old glamour, but with a modern twist. She's been wearing a lot of like simple silhouettes, like simple styles, um like not a whole bunch of print, but like staple pieces, but with a edge, with a twist to it. And she when she if she's not wearing like the half up ponytail and half back, she's also had her hair like short and like doing like, the little flip thing. Hey Adrian. And so she's really embodying this this nod to the classic aesthetic, but make it today, make it modern, make it fresh. And so the if y'all see from the clip here, and if you go and watch her interview on Club Shay Shay, that's like that top that she's wearing is Marc Jacobs. And even like the collection is, it's got, it's like exaggerated classics, like exaggerated. I wish I could give y'all another decade that it reminds me of, but the best word I can use right now is classic. And hopefully when you go back and look at her outfits, you'll get what I'm saying. But the silhouette, like the top itself is a plain, well, it's not plain, but it's a solid white top, and it's got like a design on the shoulder, but like the collar is like a simple like mandarin collar. The sleeves are a puffy sleeve, and so it is like quite literally the classic aesthetic, but it's exaggerated, it's like artistic, and it's creative, and it's fun, and it's bringing together that element of classic, like the classy with the modern or the creative twist. And I'm like, it's like all of these dots are now connecting, and I'm like, that makes sense. Like I'm seeing it. I see the sovereign. I see this person who not only leads by example and is not afraid to do the work, but in her leadership, she's also creating opportunities for others to do what it is that they are supposed to be doing and what they need to do. And I love it, and I understand why she navigated her career the way that she did, because it does give a certain credibility that some other people wouldn't necessarily have. Like they would have to do some cleanup on their image in order to reach that. Thank you for the follow, Ava. So I was just looking at the looks. I was like, man, it's clicking. It's clicking, and I love it. Now, it's not my aesthetic. All right, y'all. Like it's not my aesthetic. I could see myself doing that like as a statement, like just to have some fun and do something different, but it doesn't ring true for like my aesthetic, my brand, but I can appreciate it because I get it now. Like I get why she's doing it. Like she's not trying to put on a show. No, she's not trying to put on a front. This is what it looks like to mature into your personality and start to not only present that in the way that you speak and the things that you do with your career, but also with her style. And I mean, if you don't like it, if it's not your thing, I get it. But I'm gonna go on record and say that it makes sense. I love it for her. I really do. Like, and I want to see more of it because I think that it is really telling the story about who she is and what she's about. And so, yeah, I feel like it's definitely given like grown woman. I got stuff to do. I'm about my business. Um, but I'm also still a young woman. Like it's not that serious. I still want to have fun and be creative and be myself, but this is also a part of me being myself. So I'm just like, I'm like low key like turning into a fangirl. It's like I appreciate it. I appreciate it. So what y'all think about that? What do you think? Have y'all been paying attention to her fashion? And if you haven't, do you think that you're going to start paying more attention to it now? Or at least like at the very minimum, looking at the outfits that she's been wearing throughout this book tour and see what you think about it? Cause I feel like I can definitely see Sovereign. As far as her other brand personalities, I ain't got that deep. I ain't got that deep. I ain't even gonna lie to y'all. But I definitely see Sovereign. I do believe that as I listen to more of her interviews and learn more about her, I'll definitely be able to pick up on those other personalities. But the Sovereign is the one that was speaking to me the loudest. I was like, oh, yes. Yes, I definitely can see it. So that's it. That's my assessment, y'all. That's my assessment. I didn't expect to have enough to talk about when it came to Kiki, but I guess I did. I guess I did. Y'all, we're on y'all see I didn't put the number up of my subscribers. I feel like she's always given a more regal look as far as her personality. Yeah, I like that. I like that. I can get with that. I definitely can get with that. It is, yeah, yeah. Ugh, um, and it makes me excited because I feel like when I was talking about the sovereign brand personality, I was like, I really want to see more. I want to see more black royalty. Like, I want to see what that looks like. I want to see what that's talking about. And I feel like it wasn't even a prayer, but I feel like it was answered because I'm starting to see it now. I'm like, oh, this is what it looks like. This is what it looks like for us to be regal. This is what it looks like for us to walk with leadership and authority and to be that person for our people. Like I'm excited. And so hopefully that means that I'm gonna start finding some more and we could talk about that. But like I said, I'm already going down this rabbit hole of modern royalty. So as I start to find more things, I'm like, I'm coming to y'all with all of the receipts. Okay. I've been paying attention. I thought this also showing a separation from her childhood work shows she's grown for real. Her book has master in the title, so it makes sense. Yeah, yeah, I definitely think that it's a separation. And it kind of I think let me just say it. It also confirms or supports the theory that I had that while your personality you can see your personality when you're a child. I feel like she honestly, y'all, I feel like she's always exhibited it, but there can be that challenge of being comfortable showing it when it doesn't look like your peers, or when it feels like you're not like other people. And that's one of the things that I feel like the sovereign brand personality can struggle with at times, is like the tendency to be more rigid, and having like a desire to hold fast and hold true to tradition. Like sometimes you can come across, or just literally be more rigid, having like those controlling tendencies. Like those things are, it's a part of the personality, right? Like there's a strength and there's the challenges. And so I feel like she's always exhibited that, and so there is a part of it that feels like it's definitely a separation from the childhood. But I guess the word separation is the part where I'm challenged with it, because I feel like it all tells the story. Like I feel like it all makes sense. Like it all adds to it. And so I don't see it as a separation as much as I do an acceptance, and an acknowledgement of what this looks like now, and being more confident in expressing it. And so I think that as we become more grounded, as we become more accepting of what our personalities are, the the more we're able to uncover them, like the more apparent they'll become to us. And so that's what I see it as. I see it as, like, to a degree I see it as a separation, but I see it just more like a level up, and a maturing of it, basically. But I love it. I love it. It's growth. She's unlocking a new level in self-discovery. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, a new level of self-discovery. And I feel like because she and I are the same age, uh, I I I love it. Like I really do love to see it. I love being able to feel like, to it's for a chunk of my life, I grew up with Keke, and seeing the oh, I love that poem. And seeing the evolution, I it just makes me excited. It encourages me, as a young woman who, in a lot of ways, I can relate to her. So I just it feels good. It feels good. Kiki is truly making a household name for herself, very personable and truly entertaining and easy to resonate with. Yes. Yes, can we just, like, give it up for Kiki? 'Cause I'm loving it. I'm loving it. And I was looking at her today, because I was thinking about what I wanted to talk about today, and I was realizing, like, I keep seeing Keke Palmer, and instead of just scrolling by, let's take this in. Let's process this for a moment, because this is really a moment. A long way from a Keelan to be. Yes, and she looks good. Like, she looks amazing. I'm like, Girl, girl." I'm like, every time I see it, I'm like, I can't be mad at this. Like, I'm okay. It's it's been the Kiki show, and I just gotta accept it. I gotta accept it, because it's well deserved. It's well deserved. So I'm just excited about all of this. Um, yeah, man, y'all, it just feels good to see. It feels good to see people win. And I mean, it for sure feels good to see a black woman winning. Like let's just keep it frank, okay? It feels really good to see a black woman winning. Like I love it. And it's like really like what else like what can you say about her? Like she has addressed everybody's like she's addressed it all. It's like, okay, yeah, this is what that was like. This is what happened. Next. Yeah, I think that she does. And again, like I love that she's standing 10 toes on this aesthetic and this way that she's carrying herself. Like there is a space for it. There is a space for it. There is a need for it. And I just feel like it's definitely important to recognize it because we're as black women, we have so many diverse perspectives and ways that we express ourselves, things that we're interested in. And I'm enjoying like being able to see people who have the means and the platform to display a new um aspect of us, a new side of us. It makes me excited to see how many examples that we have now. Like it feels like a win. I love her so much, such a beautiful, intelligent, kind, fun person. Yeah. Yeah. 2020, 2023, 2024, Keke, like I'm like yes and yes and yes. Please, like please just keep growing in this, keep moving in this because you have inspired and encouraged so many people in just being you. And like I just love it. I love it. It do need to be studied. It do need to be studied. Cause you know, like 20 years, 20 plus years in the game, still innovating. Like, not even like, is it even her peak? Cause it don't feel like it. It feel like it's still the beginning of her career. Like them first 20 years was just a buildup to this. Like, and okay, and this is my last thing, y'all. I feel like this moment, especially if the people who are enjoying her, who are fans of her, if we keep supporting what she's doing and we keep investing in what it is that she's building, that this will be the time where so many of those projects that she started years ago will finally get the light and the attention that they deserve. Like I truly believe, like I said that like jokingly at first, but I really do feel like it's still just the beginning of her career. Like I feel like she still has so much further to go. And this moment is like we're witnessing this moment where things catapult. Now it took a little bit longer, it took more time to get to this place, but she's made it here. And so I'm excited because not only does that mean higher for her and more for her, but because of her heart for people and because of her commitment to bringing people up with her, look at how many other people are going to be able to come up because of it. I think about somebody like Issa Rae, right? And because of what Issa Rae was able to accomplish, look at how many more Black creatives have been able to come up behind her. And the further she goes, the more she brings people up with her. Those are those are the kinds of people that like that's just who they are. Like this is what I was doing before y'all knew I was doing it, before it was getting all the attention and the recognition, and it's what I'm going to keep doing. This is who I'm going to keep being. This is how I'm going to keep showing up. And those are the types of people that we really should be backing up. Those are the kinds of people that we should be supporting and encouraging to continue being you, because you being you is giving so many other people around you and connected to you those opportunities as well. That's what it means to be sovereign. That's what it means to be a ruler, not moving so that only you get the recognition and you get the shine, but I'm doing this for us. I'm doing this for my people. Like, it's giving me chills. It's giving me chills, y'all. Like I feel like y'all can feel it too. Like it just feels like uh, it just feels like the perfect timing, man. God is so intentional. It just feels like the perfect timing. Yeah, I mean, I think that it naturally disrupts, like it naturally disrupts. And it is not it everyone has their way of doing it, right? Like everybody has their way of um making change happen. And for the sovereign, I believe that it is that like I said, that leadership, that authority, that stability, that fairness, the confidence, charisma, the commitment to being a leader with integrity, a leader who doesn't do it for themselves to shine, but they do it because they know that they have a responsibility to their people, to their subjects, but not people who are beneath them or lower than them, but people who they can support and help because of their position, because of their resources, because of their status. Like you're really a servant. You're still a servant in terms of how your relationship with the people, but you're a servant leader. Like you are about the people because you understand that it's not just about you. Like that's how you disrupt. So if I go too much further into this, y'all, I'm gonna start talking about I'll start talking about the modern royalty. And I really want to save that conversation for another day. So I definitely would say, I honestly, I think that sovereign might be her fundamental. I think that it might be her fundamental. Now, as far as her other ones, I don't know. Okay. I don't know that just yet. So I'm going to listen to this interview, and I'm going to do some more research just on her, especially now that I feel like there's a lot more information about just her personality. And I will report back and let y'all know what I find. But I definitely would say that the sovereign is her fundamental. Like it's given sovereign all the way. Yeah, no, I'm like on a little bit of a time crunch, y'all. I have to go. I got to get my parents from the airport in a little bit, and then I still gotta make my son some dinner. So I was trying to time this so that I gave myself enough time, because y'all know I can talk. And that whole topic itself, I could talk about that for another hour. So I want to be mindful of the time, so it'll just give y'all a reason to come back. Now you got to come back so that we can talk about modern royalty. What I will say though, okay, this is going to be the little teaser. What I will say is that there is a podcast called Modern Royalty. Okay. So if you are interested in where some of my research is coming from, and you want to do some research of your own, there's a podcast by a black woman. She's actually, I think she's Senegalese. I think she's from Senegal. No, because it's not Kenyan. And so it's by a Senegalese woman, and it's called Modern Royalty. And one of the episodes that I listened to today, she was interviewing a princess from Saudi Arabia. So That's all I can give you, though. That's all I can give you. You got to come back for the rest, okay? You're not going to hear my thoughts on it until the next time. But yeah, if you're curious, check out Modern Royalty. I'm so excited, y'all. I'm so excited about this topic. Like I'm just like I'm in it. But yeah, all right. So that's what we got. If y'all didn't know, I didn't tell y'all before, but we are still at I did. We're at 677 in my subscriber growth challenge. And today is day 24. Tomorrow is day 25. This is gonna be my last week doing this challenge. So it's been an interesting challenge, y'all. If you're not familiar, if you're just finding me, I've been doing a 30-day challenge where I'm going live every day on TikTok and on YouTube. My goal is to get to 1,000 subscribers. And the fact that I even did this challenge and told people publicly what my goal is, it was the one of the scariest things I've done all year. But I was like, you either go big or go home. So I've been putting it out there and I've been sticking to the challenge. And so um we're at 677. We're almost done with it. So it still doesn't look like I'm going to get to that 1,000 subscribers unless something goes viral between now and Saturday. But the fact that I've been doing it and being committed to it is still a big success in and of itself. So yeah. And then when it's done, we can debrief about it. But yeah, we're gonna definitely talk about modern royalty. Definitely gonna talk about it. So yeah. Thank y'all for making today fun like y'all always do. I hope that y'all have an amazing rest of your night. I hope that this was a fun start to your week, that it made you excited, especially if you're a Black woman. I hope that you're got an extra dose of excitement and encouragement because we absolutely deserve it. And I'll talk to y'all tomorrow. Okay? Y'all be good. Bye.